Hello everyone. All of you must have already heard about the Bermuda Triangle, but in addition to it, there are other places where they say that ships and planes should not approach. Today, we are going to show you these places. Are you ready? Welcome to our Wikivedia Plus channel. Enough introduction, and let's go to the video. The Michigan Lake Triangle. The Michigan Lake Triangle is located between the city of Manitowoc, state of Wisconsin, Ludington, and Benton Harbor, state of Michigan in the United States. In this lake, which has the same name as the state, they say that there is a region where several cases of plane and ship disappearance have been found. In addition, in this place, there are several reports of sightings of UFOs and UFOs. Let's take a look at this part of Lake Michigan. This sad fame began in 1679, when sailboat Le Griffin suddenly disappeared while it was sailing. As the wreckage of the ship were not found, the theory that they were hit by a hurricane was not considered likely. This sailboat carried about 5.4 tons of animal leather. Therefore, perhaps they were attacked by pirates, or the crew themselves stole this precious cargo and set fire to the ship to eliminate the traces. However, we do not know what really happened. The sailboat Rosabelle, which disappeared in 1863, was sighted twice by observers, but without any sign of the crew. The first time this happened was in 1875. The ship was carried to the port, and after making the necessary repair, it left again for navigation. However, in 1921, a strange event would occur again. Captain Eddie Johnson thought there was something wrong and did not want to embark on the sailboat, so Rosabelle left for navigation without the captain. A few days later, the ship was found turned over and without any sign of crew again. The most recent mystery that happened in the Michigan Triangle was the case of 1998. On a sunny day, without any cloud, the L-39 Albatross plane disappeared while passing through the lake. The incident happened when veteran pilot Don Charler, who was preparing an aviation event, and flight instructor Donovan Rodriguez were on their way from Sherry Capital Airport after finishing the flight tests. In a place that was 40 kilometers from the airport, the aircraft disappeared from the radar. A search was made that lasted several days, but nothing was found. But the most mysterious event in Lake Michigan happened in 1937. Captain George R. Donner was guiding the ship O.M. McFarland along with the crew on his birthday. After driving the ship out of the galleys, he went down to his cabin and locked it inside. After that, he was never seen again. The crew had to break the door, but the captain was not there. According to them, there was no way for the captain to leave the watch. So what would have happened? This is a question that no one knows how to answer. The Dragon's Triangle. The mysterious maritime region known as the Devil's Sea is located about 100 kilometers south of Tokyo. This region is known as the Dragon's Triangle, in a way similar to the Bermuda Triangle. But the way this triangle is drawn varies a lot, and sometimes it doesn't even look like a triangle. The Devil's Sea covers the three different maritime regions located between Tokyo and Iwo Jima. The legend about this region of the Pacific was born due to the fact that 9 ships disappeared between 1949 and 1953. Sensationalists believe that these events have a connection to some kind of special magnetic field. In other words, they believe that there is a phenomenon similar to Bermuda and other similar regions. But according to Larry Kusher, famous for his research on the Bermuda Triangle, the fact that fishing boats with inferior equipment have disappeared is not surprising. However, the accident involving the oceanographic ship Daigo Kaimaru draws attention. According to fans of paranormal phenomena, this ship disappeared, as it had gone to the Devil's Sea to investigate the abnormalities that occurred on site. But in fact, this ship was intended to investigate the submarine volcano Mojinchu in 1952 and ended up exploding on site. Later, it was discovered that the cause of the accident was due to the eruption that ended up causing the ship's explosion. Since then, the region located within a radius of 15 kilometers of Mojinchu is considered a dangerous region, and no ship enters this place anymore. Titanic shipwreck. In the northern part of the Atlantic Ocean, the shipwreck of perhaps the most famous ship in the world is located. Yes, we are talking about the place where the Titanic collided with the iceberg in 1912. It's a pretty dangerous place, right? But what if I say that this shipwreck still attracts people looking for adventure? In 2023, this place ended up becoming the last stop of the submarine Titan, with 5 people inside it. However, this time what caused the tragedy was not the iceberg. The high pressure ended up causing the implosion of the submarine Titan. And this implosion was mainly caused by the fact that the submarine was poorly designed. Again, we saw that we should not underestimate the seas. Sargasso Sea. A coastless sea, this sounds very strange at first glance. However, it exists. The Sargasso Sea is the only sea on Earth that has no coast. This sea, which is close to the Bermuda Triangle, is another dangerous maritime region of the Atlantic Ocean. This gigantic vortex is surrounded by 4 strong currents, and the depth of its sea can reach 7 kilometers. If we think that even Christopher Columbus feared the colonies of the Sargasso algae, we can deduce how dangerous this region is for navigation. He feared being captured by the algae, and regretted not blowing wind in this maritime region. He feared, and rightly so. Then the algae can really be dangerous. The English businessman Donald Crowhurst ended up being captured by the algae when he was participating in the Gold Globe Reef circumnavigation race held by Sunday Times magazine in 1969. 10 days later, when the yacht was found, they could not find the businessman. But they found an onboard diary full of unintelligible observations and comments that seemed to be hallucinating. On the other hand, Elisha Thompson, a young apprentice, was one of the few who managed to get out of this region alive. In 1900, he was the only survivor of the cargo ship J.G. Noworth, which was hit by a strong storm. When the ship was trapped in the Sargasso Sea, Elisha went to the lifeboat he had on his ship and managed to get to another ship that, coincidentally, was passing by. When he was passing by this unexpected event, he saw several shipwrecked. They say that among them was also the ship SS City of Boston. The Strait of Bass Triangle. The Strait of Bass is a maritime strait that separates Australia from Tasmania. This is a place that has a long history of bad reputation. However, thanks to an event that occurred in 1978, a curious story about the Strait of Bass Triangle began to circulate. On October 21st, Frederick Valentish, the pilot who was training on the Cessna 182, reported that he was being chased by another plane. But shortly after he added, "That is not an aircraft." The last sound the air traffic control heard was a metallic sound that seemed to be scratching something. After that, communication with Valentich was lost, and the search brought no result. This incident attracted the attention of fans of mysteries. Since the Strait of Bass was discovered by Europeans, they say that hundreds of ships have sunk and dozens have disappeared without leaving any trace. The discovery of this strait is also involved in mysteries. In 1797, Sydney Cove sank in this strait, and the sailboat Elisa, which was in search of the first, also disappeared. When the ship sank, part of the crew crossed the continent in search of help. On the way, they found the native population, both friendly and violent, and in this adventure, they found a place with the second largest coal reserve in Australia. This story would make a great book. In 1920, a similar incident occurred, but this time more tragic. The SS Amelia J ship ended up disappearing in this region. The Gamezes Holtmans, which went in search of the ship, also ended up disappearing. But this does not end here. During the rescue process, SS Soltine Cross and the military ship Eco DH-9A also ended up disappearing. This is unbelievable. The Lago Erie Ship Cemetery. Although apparently the surface is calm, it may be that at the next moment several giant waves will attack the ships. In Lago Erie, this unpredictable situation has already caused between 500 and 2,000 shipwrecks. It has the largest number of shipwrecks in the world, leading even scientists to believe that this number is greater than the Bermuda Triangle. To date, 227 shipwrecks have been found. For this reason, this piece of the United States attracted the attention of several specialists and even NASA. The oldest shipwreck in this place is the Lake Serpent sailboat. In 1829, this sailboat had found a mineral deposit in Kelly's Island, and they were on their way to Cleveland, carrying the ore when it disappeared. The details of the accident were only discovered by divers in 2018. And this has become a story of mystery, is that even a small detail, such as the shape of the stone in the converse, made a difference. The sailboat that was found carried a stone without processing, but the only possibility was the Lake Serpent, because the subsequent sailboats already carried blocks cut from limestone from quarries with extraction capacity. And do you agree with this analysis of scientists? The Corryvreckan turbulence. The name Corryvreckan means chessboard cauldron, and it is a unique maritime region. According to legend, this is the place where the goddess of winter washes her favorite coats. You can already imagine how stormy this place is. As stormy as it is, inside the Gulf, there is the third largest whirlwind in the world, and near it, the ship that was with the famous writer George Orwell ended up sinking. Fortunately, nothing happened to Orwell. Otherwise, we would not have his wonderful works in the world today. Vortex of Marisburg. The Vortex of Marisburg is located in Lake Ontario, and they say that about 500 ships and 40 aircraft have disappeared there. Among these cases of disappearances, there is one with a very mysterious story. We are talking about the Bavarian sailboat, which was on a convoy passing through the lake in 1989. This sailboat was connected to a rope-winged shipyard. Suddenly, strong winds began to blow, and Bavaria ended up colliding with the ship that was on its side, and the rope ended up loosening. When the shipyard finally reached Bavaria, there was no one inside the sailboat, and the only thing inside it was a loaf of bread inside the oven. Because of these stories, Lake Ontario attracts several divers and enthusiasts. Curiously, they began the investigation not by the coast, but by the files and documents. When the researchers took a look at the old newspapers, they found 270 articles about the shipwrecks that occurred in the Vortex of Marisburg. These discoveries are what makes the researchers continue their research. In recent history, there is a person who witnessed a mysterious phenomenon in this place. This person felt on his skin the force of the Vortex of Marisburg. In 1975, amateur pilot Ron Scott was piloting his Cessna 172 passing through the quiet surface of Lake Ontario. The sky was clear, but suddenly an invisible giant grabbed the wings of the aircraft. He lost control of the aircraft for 10 seconds. Shortly after, this giant grabbed the other wing, making Ron spend another time in terror. Fortunately, the pilot managed to get out of the giant's claws, land the aircraft, and get out of it without complications. Today's video ends here. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you liked the video, leave a like and share this video on social networks. We have always appreciated your support. Now let's get ready for the next video here on our Wikivedia Plus channel. We'll be back soon. A big hug, and until then, bye.